let's continue where we left off, shall we? He's like, ah, shoot. Leave me alone, Edgeworth. Hello, everyone. This is Boricua Binks, and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. In the last episode, we had finished our investigation, and we went to confront who we are very sure is the criminal, Jack Sportsman. And I thought we had him cornered. It felt like we were about to just be done with this case and be done with that stupid idiot. But it looks like he's still got something up his sleeve. So let's continue on. Alright, let's see how long this episode will be. I mean, even that said it right there. Turnabout visitor, end. Alright. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. I think I said this already. Mr. Stripper. And as I said earlier, it's also circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well. I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. Which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. Oh no! I see where he's going with this. That's such bullcrap. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You stop that, it's so distracting. Ugh. You made that up just now, didn't you? Of course he did. Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse.
No, that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size.
But you can't prove that, can you?
Oh, come on. Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. You just came up with it right now, you piece of crap. Well, it's a good thing I ended the last episode when I did then. Portsman's alibi. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 AM, correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi, which is exactly why you went down there, I'm sure. Ugh, great. Do you really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe.
Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down at Criminal Affairs said they saw him at around 2 AM.
You see? That's inconvenient. All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Okay. When he starts around 2 a.m. I need to review some stuff. Hold on. Let's see. Body was found at around 2 a.m. or 2:05. What else? What else? Bullet. One shot fired. The safe. The file is pretty important. We haven't dealt with that yet. Time. Oh, it doesn't mention the times. Anything about time in here? I don't think so. 3 pieces of evidence. Basketball hoop. Okay, there's nothing else time related. I was hoping there was. Unfortunate amputation at gunpoint with the culprit. Done criminal affairs. That's where I'm sure I need to hear what he has to say. Portsman's alibi may seem perfect at first glance, but I know there's a hole in it somewhere. All I need to do is press him a little and see what comes of it. I thought so. Just wanted confirmation. Alright, let's do some pressing. Hold it. You are correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Ooh, giving testimony like pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. Okay, I think it's this one then. This confrontation is important. It is as you say, however... Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Objection! Oh, come now, I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. Okay, what time? Criminal. Okay, what were you doing down there at that time? So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit? Yep. Right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Wow, we really gotta press everything, okay. Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. And it was just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you at around that time.
See, I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Ugh, so arrogant. Ugh, disgusting. Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi. That's only assuming that's the time that the victim was killed. We need the... we don't have the autopsy report, though. That's what sucks. What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face?
Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of the line, and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there. Sir? Please escort the young lady out. But remember, be gentle.
Maggie!
Detective Gumshoe!
No! My star-crossed lovers! Edgeworth, please! Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. A turnabout! Just like he taught you. Come on, man. If I only had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? Oh, logic. Then Shooter I met could not have been Portsman. Then who could it have been? Ah.
It's logic time!
I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. Logic powers activate. Alright, well, we didn't finish with this stuff earlier, so... The fact that the files were rearranged twice, the fact that there's another handgun at play... I'm wondering... I wonder if I was actually supposed to connect these two first. Let's try. It didn't seem like I could before, but maybe. No. Okay, I was right. I can't see a clear connection between these two pieces of information. Okay, maybe after I connect one of them to his alibi. I think we'll try... this one? Let's see. Yeah! Okay. Evidence points to the shelves being disturbed once before and once after the murder. But who is to say that the person who did it the second time is the same as the first? Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Maybe the victim and his killer weren't the only visitors to my office tonight. Yeah. There we go. Now we can connect these two. Makes perfect sense. Yeah. Great logic you got there. If indeed there were two culprits, then that resolves the contradiction behind a murder weapon. Despite the fact that there are 2 bullets here in this room, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, leaving the possibility that the other bullet was fired from the other visitor's gun. Furthermore, if we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back... There! And he did all that in a few seconds. Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great, so you finally come to your senses.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Sir, what are you saying?
He looks so cute, like that little gumshoe with all little mouth open wide, like, no! This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean, 2?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice, and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario. Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, Who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. Again, at this time of night. What? Do none of y'all sleep? Seriously? But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
Poor guy. Just being a good detective. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. That's why they were just talking. And he had no idea that his partner was a douchebag criminal. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. Just look at that face. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left a fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Come shoot, please. Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another.
Visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. What is the chances that they both came to steal something the same night, right? Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room. Ah, that's when it went missing. Got it. And then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
Stolen zero file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shell's getting messed up twice and the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi from the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. But you don't have enough evidence, right?
That's so funny, pal.
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant.
Stop stripping.
But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Part 2. There we go. The music tells me this is the last one. Alright. That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I'm trying to focus, but this song just makes me want to dance. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. Okay, I gotta reread some of that. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course, now isn't the time to be wasting time on dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? He's like, shoot. Leave me alone, Edgeworth. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Alright. Let's see, I think we have to press something. No suspect. Blah. Training in my room. Jim came to work or something. I kind of want to press on this one. Hold on. Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant. A gun, you say? And wait a minute. You're saying 2, but the note said 3. Uh-oh! Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. You brought me 2 items, a gun and a pendant, that are related to yesterday's case. Ah la la la. Somebody can't count.
Objection!
Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is "you fail, you loser." Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. Phew, I can't believe to get tripped up by simple arithmetic. Math will get you in the end, man. Where is the missing piece of evidence? You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Not to mention you've been doing that face all day. Detective Gumshoe.
You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Every nook and cranny.
It's like, no! Don't come any closer! I'm warning you!
This is all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me.
Strip! Again! No! Now he really has to strip.
Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir. You shoved up his butt.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide, and how the hell did that fit in there? Okay, anyway.
But why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. Okay. Oh, I thought we were gonna actually watch something. Incident? KG8 incident. The KG8 incident.
That's a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case?
Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once over. Okay, there's more evidence. Maybe... the back.
That's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood?
No! No! You've got it all wrong! No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. No. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video.
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints. Yeah. If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible. Oh my god, his teeth. Oh, he swallowed it! Bruh, you gonna die. He's like, ah! That's the face he made at the end. Bruh. That blood is all his now. How you gonna poop that out, sir? How did his teeth not break? March 14th, 5:47 a.m. High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202.
Mr. Fortsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
Oh, it was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean, at least I didn't have to actually go through the whole court thing. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. Yeah, you should go back to being a waitress, honey. This poor woman.
You know something, sir? Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh? Sounds familiar.
And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Ooh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
You never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Really? Is it because he passed out? You really need to find that out. Like, can't you go question him?
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
Oh, I guess they did question him. Huh. Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Ah? That Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. Yes, this.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card. Is it the killer? No. His card is different.
What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's Superman. I mean, it is the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about.
Yes, it is the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. That's pretty cool, man. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Yatagarasu haunts embassy. The noble Yatagarasu, vigilante of the business world, reappears. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. Corporate dealings exposed, okay. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is set forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. As it should be, compared to the other phantom thieves in anime and stuff. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media. Along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So, the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu, organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming.
Oh?
For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago.
Flashback time!
the end for now. Alright, done with Turnabout Visitor, and next is Turnabout Airlines. Yay! I'm not a fan of Turnabout Airlines, but I will say there's one character who should make it a little interesting. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and until next time, have a great day. Bye!
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And also make sure to ring the bell for notifications for new episodes. You can follow me on Twitch, where I stream every week, and also follow me on Twitter for updates. Until next time, have a nice day. Adios!